CTV News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michelle Maluske. Air quality across Windsor, Essex and Chatham-Kent has changed drastically this evening. Around 7 o'clock, air quality dropped further as clear skies gave way to smoky-smelling air and haze. It came so quickly. Windsor Police posted on socials around 8:30 tonight, asking residents to not call 911 to report the bad air. It's expected the situation will drag into Thursday. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald will have his full weather forecast later in our newscast tonight. For now, here's CTV's Sanjay Maru with the risks associated with air like this.
It looks like any other summer day in Windsor, Essex, but health officials say what you can't see may be the biggest threat. An orange air quality warning is now in effect as wildfire smoke drifts into southwestern Ontario. Officials say air quality is expected to deteriorate throughout the day and could remain poor into Friday.
Toronto situation is very bad. You can see that in Hamilton as well. So it seems that that wind brings the wildfire smoke.
The warning applies to everyone but children, seniors, people with heart or lung conditions, and those who work outdoors face the greatest risk. And experts are quick to warn, do not let the blue sky fool you.
Wildfire smoke, we're not seeing it in the same way that regions closer to the fires are. But that doesn't mean that it isn't a problem. This is an invisible threat to the eyes right now. It doesn't mean it's not harmful. It is indeed harmful.
Jane MacArthur says Windsor, Essex already deals with pollution from local industry and cross-border emissions, and wildfire smoke only adds to that mix. She says people who have to work outside should limit their exposure where possible, and employers should go as far as to provide well-fitting N95 respirators to help filter the fine particles in the air.
This is something that we're not used to having, although it's becoming increasingly more common. And because this is more and more common, we can't just respond to these things in an emergency acute way. We have to be prepared in advance. And
health officials say if you're staying inside, keep windows and doors closed as much as possible. Use a high-quality air filter or portable air cleaner if you have one. And if you develop more serious symptoms like wheezing, chest pain, or severe coughing, seek medical attention immediately.
In 2023, we observed a spike in ED visits for those who experience asthma when we had a very bad wildfire smoke. So this is another thing that people might consider.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Now, speaking of those wildfires, video from Collins, Ontario, north of Sudbury, shows a train being surrounded by the fire. CN Rail says the crew was able to make it off the train safely, but the train itself remains on the tracks. Freight trains using the corridor have been stopped and staged now near Collins. Police say those trains were carrying combustible and flammable materials. Meantime, these satellite images offer a view of the wildfire smoke. As of Monday, there were 160 active wildfires in the province. A handful of communities in northwestern Ontario are currently under evacuation orders. Back here in Windsor, police say someone is playing a dangerous game with passenger trains. Windsor police say someone is putting large debris, items like couches and mattresses, on local train tracks. So far this year, police have investigated 12 such cases of vandalism, most happening between 9 and 10 at night on the tracks from George Avenue to Paulette Road. They haven't caused any derailments, but have led to delays, according to authorities. Police also say 2 people were recorded on video throwing rocks through a moving Via Rail train window in April, and a fire was set on the tracks last in June. Anyone with information about any of these incidents is asked to contact Windsor Police or make an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. Well, moving on to a more upbeat topic now. Windsor hosted FIFA today in a fan event downtown. Joining me to talk about how it turned out is CTV's Robert Lothian. Robert, what were the expectations going into this first-time event here in Windsor?
Michelle, I think there was a belief heading into today that maybe perhaps Windsor isn't the biggest soccer city. Well, fans came out and in droves rather and proved that's far from the case. Through hours of relentless heat, people came out to dance, play some soccer, and of course watch the big game. 1,100 kilometers away from Wednesday's World Cup semi-final match, Windsor soccer fans gave the big game a run for its money.
I didn't expect it to be this good. It was insane.
From taking the pitch themselves,
mostly about all the soccer stuff around here and all the challenges we do.
Reminiscing about a run cut short.
Even though they're out, I still love Team Canada. I will keep, with that love, I will keep enjoying it.
And of course, England and Argentina's battle for a place in the finals.
It's the best team in the world. So I just liked it my whole life, you know, and Messi's the best. Vamos!
Windsor playing host to a FIFA-sanctioned World Cup community celebration. 8 hours of non-stop activities and soccer action.
I'm just enjoying everything because, like, the view and everything is so good. I like everyone, and I'm just playing games.
Even on a day of scorching temperatures, Mother Nature couldn't kill the party.
It's a bit hot, but, I mean, at least it's a nice day in Windsor.
The event showcasing Windsor to the world, from this family visiting from Germany.
My mom said we're going to watch a football game.
To new residents from South America thrilled to have a place to watch their team win.
Amazing. So happy. Amazing. I mean, we were at the final, so how can I can't explain it.
Organizers say the city was approached more than a year ago by FIFA, a pitch to be a part of the Canada Celebrates tour.
This is what we pitch to them. This sort of space, this sort of talent, and our reputation and roster of events speak for themselves.
The event relied on local artists and businesses, and by the end of the day, drew more than 3,000 people to City Hall Square.
We had expectations, and we were hoping it was going to, the plaza, the whole square here at City Hall was going to be packed, and it was today, and you could just feel a positive vibe, and it's great that the community is able to come out and celebrate each other.
So with a World Cup frenzy drawing to a close and a finals match set for Sunday, fans at Windsor's watch party say any questions about the city's love for the game are now put to bed.
I didn't expect too many people to show up, especially with the heat wave right now. But man, that was insane. That was insane.
Windsor was one of the 34 communities across Canada tapped to host the celebrations. This was to help spread some of the World Cup energy outside of just the host cities, and by all accounts, it appears to have been a success here in Windsor. Michelle?
Yeah, so Robert, I want to ask you, you were down there at the event with me for all those live hits during the 6 o'clock show. What did you think about it?
I think I was actually pleasantly surprised. I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure how many people were going to be there. Huge turnout, great energy. We were there till just after 7, and there were still some people kicking around, kicking soccer balls, having a good time.
Yeah, what I loved about it was later into the evening, like through that 6 o'clock show for us, you were seeing teams of soccer players come down and enjoy it, almost like they went and they did what they had to do, and then they came to enjoy this sport that they love. I thought it was such a great event for the city of Windsor. So, and
a free event, so everyone was able to come and have a good time, right?
Awesome. That's it's a good memory one for sure. All right, thank you so much for this, Robert Lothian, reporting for us tonight in the newsroom. Also today, Jeep turned 85 with a special event down at the Big Canadian Flag, where we learned why drivers all have ducks on their dashes.
During the COVID timeframe, a Canadian just east of the GTA came up with this, I would say, gracious custom. It's gone not only across Canada, but globally. It's become connected and synonymous with Jeeps overall. And so we're celebrating it here today, and this is a uniquely Canadian piece of Jeep heritage.
The tradition shared during today's event, which was centered around that giant 40-foot rubber duck floating in the river. The event also featured current and classic Jeep models, live music, and giveaways, including commemorative rubber ducks for the first 1,000 visitors. But with the Gordie Howe International Bridge set to open downriver in less than 2 weeks, the event also became an opportunity to talk about what the new crossing will mean for the region. We get that story from CTV's Chris Campbell.
A 40-foot yellow rubber duck may have been the star of the show along Windsor's waterfront today, but with the Gordie Howe International Bridge now set to open July 27th, it didn't take long for the conversation to shift to another landmark rising over the Detroit River.
This is a major trade artery between two giant trading partners, and Canadian, it's our most important trading partner. Making sure that we have back and forth access that allows for the smooth flow of goods is incredibly important. We're excited about the infrastructure opening.
The Jeep celebration celebration marked the brand's 85th anniversary, with Stellantis choosing the Great Canadian flag in front of its Canadian headquarters in Windsor to celebrate a uniquely Canadian tradition known as Jeep ducking. But for many attending, the bridge opening is another milestone they're looking forward to.
I don't even know when I'm going to go over across there, but I'm excited. That'll be fun.
The Bridge Authority has also released a new detail ahead of opening day. While motorists and commercial traffic will be able to use the bridge beginning July 27th, pedestrians and cyclists will have to wait until August 5th for the multi-use path to open.
That I would be interested in riding the bike over.
The bridge's opening comes as some politicians continue to press the federal government for more information about the Canada-U.S. agreement announced late last week.
What Canadians really need to know is just tell us what the agreement is. Just show us what the agreement is.
Essex MP Chris Lewis says he supports opening the bridge, but wants Ottawa to publicly release the agreement before the crossing opens.
Just tell us what's in the agreement. If there's nothing to hide, then just show it to us.
With the countdown now underway, the giant duck may only be visiting for a day, but Windsor's newest international crossing is just days away from welcoming its first drivers. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald will break down the rest of the week's weather forecast in 2 minutes' time. Wave of the future or beginning of the end. Still ahead, Chinese EVs on display in Canada and getting closer to dealership lots. As promised, joining us now is CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald with your detailed look at the weather.
Michelle, hot and humid conditions. It really doesn't matter whether it's early in the morning, pre-dawn, or late in the afternoon when we reach our peak temperatures. And certainly late at night, the overnights have been very warm. Yesterday, technically, I should say, this morning, 26, 27 degrees, feeling like about 31 to 34, depending on where you are. So we are still in a heat warning. The air quality statement is, ominous in the wildfires, in that the wildfires continue to burn, and the wind profile is drawing that right into the heart of southern Ontario, reaching a high of 35 today. Our average is 28. You get a sense of this northwesterly flow. All of that cloud and rain moving through upper Michigan, through the northern part of Lake Huron, the Bruce Peninsula, Manitoulin Island, Georgian Bay. It's filtering right through the heart of the GTA, and that's why Toronto earlier today was the most air-polluted city on the planet. And that northwesterly flow has implications here. Yes, we aren't getting a direct hit from that stream, but that airflow stream has brought the fine particulate matter, the smoke and soot into our airspace. So poor air quality is the lead story. It is still very mild, to say the very least, through the overnights pre-dawn. It is warm and oppressively hot during the afternoons. Will be smoky, hazy throughout the day, high UV. Northwesterlies, that's essentially reinforcing the poor air quality. That's why the smoke icon is on the Thursday panel. From Friday through Saturday, we're still hovering around that heat warning threshold in terms of the daytime highs and lows. About 30, 31 for the high, 21 degrees Celsius for the low. And showers are a possibility on Friday, more likely on Saturday. Then we start to cool off. Seasonal temperatures Sunday and Monday, fair, then cloudy, possible morning showers. Showers are much cooler than average. Tuesday, sunny and slightly cooler than average on Wednesday. Michelle?
Thanks so much, Gary. Well, there appears to be a resurgence in electric vehicle interest, including new models arriving in Canada from China. With more on some of the more affordable options on the way, here's CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin.
A Chinese automaker showcased its EV models at a VIP cocktail in the Port of Montreal. Dongfeng Motor Corp hopes its cars will make their way into the Canadian market next year, distributed by North World Industry.
The quality is good, the price is good, and when people start to test the vehicle, say, wow, this is good.
Dongfeng has earmarked 2 models, the Vigo, a mini SUV, and the Nami Box, a subcompact, both with a price tag under $35,000. It's now working through Canada's certification process. Dongfeng is eyeing a move Ottawa has pushed, the possibility of manufacturing in Canada, likely in Quebec, home to the hottest EV market in the country. Zero-emission vehicle sales overall are surging in Canada with a 20% increase in May, 18,000 more on Canadian roads. Chinese EVs are now making their way to Canadian shores after Ottawa and Beijing struck a tariff deal. More than 6,531 have arrived and more are coming, including, predict analysts, some BYD models which are still not fully certified for Canadian roads. A Montreal couple, though, got a sneak peek at BYD ownership. They live half the year in Mexico and bought their Mexico-plated BYD Shark a month and a half ago. They say their hybrid fits their lifestyle.
There's always an excitement about having a new brand, something different from the main auto manufacturers that we've grown up with.
Cybersecurity experts have warned about national security and data privacy issues of what they say are Chinese smartphones on wheels.
With all our connected lives as it stands now, I think we've kind of crossed the Rubicon on that.
And some potential buyers say they hope that with more choice on the market, it will be more affordable to get behind the wheel of an EV. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Provincial government leaders were in Sarnia today, emphasizing their commitment to building an oil pipeline, delivering crude to local refineries. CTV's Jerry Dewan has that story.
Stephen Lecce toured Sarnia's Kilgore Limited, a metal fabricating and construction company. The Minister of Energy and Mines used the visit to stress his government's commitment to the Northern Shield Energy Corridor, a 3,300-kilometer pipeline project.
We will work together to move this project forward, to complete the study at the end of this calendar year, and to get on with nation building through a meaningful dialogue of partnership, but ultimately moving beyond the talk to getting things done for Canada.
Lecce says a dialogue has begun with regions that will be impacted. That includes the Omnijong First Nation in Sarnia. Manitoba Premier Webb Canoe has withheld full endorsement of the project, looking for assurances that the pipeline will travel to the Port of Churchill.
In good faith, we'll work with Premier Canoe, the people of Manitoba. We want to create win-win-wins. Every province, every First Nation, every community can win.
Kilgore leadership say their company has worked on many of the refinery and petrochemical projects in Sarnia and have the skill set to help the Chemical Valley scale up.
When people talk about Sarnia being the heart of Canada's refining and petrochemical industry, what they're really talking about is the skill of the workforce that keeps it running.
Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley says the Chemical Valley has been maligned in the past, but says it continues to be a key economic driver for both Ontario's and the nation's economy.
We're having an adult discussion about this industry and treating it with the respect it deserves. It produces wealth for every other part of this country, and that's what this is about today.
Lecce says economic volatility created by U.S. tariff policies and by the war with Iran has only galvanized opinion that Canada needs greater energy independence.
A problem that has been well defined in the hearts and minds of Canadians, that we cannot, in good conscience, rely on them for the energy sovereignty, for the reliability that our country and Canadians need now more than ever.
Lecce is also calling for the creation of a strategic petroleum reserve, noting that Canada is the only G7 nation without a reserve. In Sarnia, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Back here at home, a Windsor manufacturer is expanding with help from the province. Hawk Plastics is investing nearly $1.7 million to modernize its Windsor facility on Outer Drive. The province is contributing just over $250,000 towards the project, which the company says will create 16 new jobs. The upgrade includes a new injection molding press, along with infrastructure improvements designed to boost production, reduce the need to outsource work, and allow the company to launch a new product line. Canada's main stock index moved higher today. The TSX gained 96 points. In New York, the Dow added 150, the Nasdaq up 162. The Canadian dollar climbed almost 1/10 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold gained nearly $18 an ounce. Oil is up 26 cents a barrel. A CTV News investigation is looking into what happens when a police officer lies when taking the witness stand in court. CTV's John Woodward has more on the gaps in the system for reporting dishonest officers.
This is surveillance video in a parkade in London, Ontario. That's a Toronto man on the ground getting arrested, and there, a police officer kicks him in the face, something a judge found the officer lied about in testimony.
It's surprising because it's an easy lie to catch if the officer is saying one thing, but the objective video evidence is showing another.
Dishonesty by police on the stand happens occasionally. A report by Western University earlier this year identified since 2015 11 cases where officers from the Toronto Police Service and Peel Regional Police lied or provided false testimony. In high-profile cases, police forces often take action directly, like in this case from 2015, where a judge found a Peel officer stole a Tony Montana statue from a storage locker during a search and lied about it. Not all cases make the news. Prosecutors have an obligation to flag an officer to their own police service if a trial crown becomes aware of credible and reliable information that an officer has been deliberately untruthful under oath. An FOI by CTV News shows that's happened 28 times in the last decade. But those cases identified in the Western report weren't on the list, a sign that there are gaps in the system, says NDP MPP Jenny Stevens.
An overwhelming majority of police officers serve with integrity. So I want to be very clear, honesty in the justice system is a non-negotiable.
A spokesperson for Ontario's Attorney General said our list may not capture some types of cases, but stressed it is fundamental to the administration of justice that police officers' statements made under oath are truthful. When confronted with the dishonesty at court over this incident in London, the judge's reaction was to toss the charges. John Woodward, CTV News.
Drivers are feeling more pain at the pumps today, and it appears another price increase is on the way. Gas prices went up 8 cents overnight, meaning the average price in Windsor is just under $1.73. Another 2-cent increase is expected tonight. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTague says that after a 12-cent hike overnight, diesel prices will rise another 7 cents on Thursday to just under $2.14 a liter. The rising prices are linked to the renewed violence between the U.S. and Iran in the Middle East. Meanwhile, a new survey from CAA South Central Ontario finds 70% of respondents aged 35 to 54 say rising gas prices are now affecting their day-to-day activities. Respondents say they're driving less, cutting back on discretionary spending, and reducing everyday purchases like takeout meals or coffee. 60% of respondents who were planning road trips this summer say they will not go as often or as far due to tighter budgets. On Wednesdays, we go on the sidelines with Bob Belichico. Tonight, with a great Cinderella story for the Windsor Wildcats U15 softball team. It's not that they had a bad season. It's that other teams were doing big things. For example, in the championship tournament, Stratford's Shakespeare Falcons put a beat down on the Wildcats 12-2 in one game. The Cats fought their way through the rest of the tournament and ended up beating the same Falcons team 5-3 in a winner-takes-all game. They're now headed to New Brunswick at the end of the month for Nationals.
We're much stronger at practice, and we have much more confidence in ourselves that we can do bigger things than we had before, because we started off our season not very well. So I think we keep building up, and this gave us a lot of confidence.
You can find Bob's entire sports segment on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Meantime, in Hockeytown, it's the end of an era for a Canadian legend. Steve Yzerman is stepping down as general manager of the Detroit Red Wings. It ends a 6-year run that saw the team fall just short of ending its playoff drought. The Hall of Famer will stay with the organization as a senior advisor while the Red Wings begin the search for a new head of hockey operations. Let's check in one last time on the weather. Here is CTV's meteorologist Gary Archibald with his exclusive 7-day forecast.
Michelle, I'm anticipating air quality to be extremely poor tonight through tomorrow, throughout much of the day, just like today. Swelteringly hot today. The heat and humidity combination making it feel like the mid-40s in the afternoon. We will be slightly cooler tomorrow, but still in the heat warning. There's a chance of some showers overnight Thursday into Friday. 32 will feel like about 36, maybe 37 for Thursday afternoon. 31 feels like about 35 to 38 between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent. On Friday, both days, high UV and, of course, the poor air quality from wildfires, the key issue. Saturday, showers, 30 degrees. And then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we just fall off a bit in terms of temperatures. Looking forward to 22, followed by 25 Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively. Showers through the midweek turning to sunshine. That is a look at your weather. Wherever you are, stay cool and well under all of these conditions. Good night.
In the United States, the House of Representatives has voted to keep the U.S. on daylight saving time year-round. Now the bill will head to the Senate for approval. Critics say it could have negative economic consequences, especially for farmers. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, many states are ready to embrace the shift. 19 of them have enacted legislation to switch to year-round daylight savings time if Congress allows it. But the bill also allows states to opt out. The challenge continues for Windsor's amazing racers. Amin and Soraya Fidel made it through another leg after using their express pass a little earlier than planned to overcome a tough ski challenge. The Windsor duo battled back, finishing 4th at the pit stop, good enough to easily stay in the competition, while Maestro Fresh West and his best friend became the season's first team eliminated. That's all the time we have for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 11. Try to stay cool out there. Good night.